The season. microphone is on. It's time. Welcome, everyone. Glad to have you all on board today. I'm your host, DrFox2000, and you're watching VolcanoX live stream. And thank you. Hi, Doctor. I hear you from Sue. And good evening from Kevin Williams, and a welcome from Kevin Haynes. All confusing. Too many Kevins. We just need one more and we can have a barrel of Kevins. Let's see. John also says we can hear you. All right. And here he is. Thanks, Grandma B. Yeah, wonderful to be here today. Even though it's kind of cold and windy here. And I'm surprised that we didn't get the rain that they forecast. And we also didn't get snow, which is also a good thing. So I'm still of reasonable cheer, if you want to call it that. Anyway, good to have everyone here today. On screen, of course, Siggy's Fisher, and that was from August 14th. Slightly, well, we may have seen this file before, but just figured I'd throw that on there. For today for us. And yeah, Henry Nelson eases into the recliner. Henry, I wish I could do that and just sit back and watch the show. People tell me it's actually pretty good. So we'll see what happens. Anyway, big welcome to our wonderful moderators. We've got Arizona Snowman, we have Piggy, and Piggy is still broken. And of course, we can understand that. It's going to take some time for Piggy to get better, and I feel a little bit more confident about what she's doing and that type of thing, but we understand that. Also, C&D Boy is here, and welcome, and Joseph Fields Official also popped in. I did see Joseph. And we could very well have 24/7 live AZ Skies in the background as well. I'm not going to mention too much, but that could be a possibility, as well as Lucas Snow. So we'll see. Anyway, yeah. Hopefully things will work out for Piggy and get a little bit better and easier. I think time is the big factor here for right now. Hey, there he is. I see you, 3-dot man. Okay. Anyway, all good. So yeah, let's get at things here. And of course, Kevin Haynes was first one in today, and he gets the cookies. And Oz was second by about 3 seconds, so Oz gets one cookie. Or one, well, these are actually stacks of cookies, so she gets one stack of cookies. Sorry, they're not Tim Tams, or yeah, I think I said that right. Anyway, all good. And yeah, so anyway, let's get at things and see what's happening around the world. Pretty quiet in Iceland as far as we can tell, and I didn't see too many things going on. Let's pop around and just have a quick peek at Iceland. I'm going to stop our lava flow here if I can get to the right position, and give me a second. There we go. Pause. There we go. Okay, I paused it. We'll get rid of that big banner and the little banner, and we will move over and have a look at I need to get that off the screen. Maybe did that click or no? Yeah, there it did. All right, so there we see the city of Reykjavik in Iceland, capital city, a beautiful place, and I can say that because I've been there. And did enjoy the wonderful time there. So pretty awesome. That's what it looks like right now. During the course of the day, though, it wasn't all that bright and cheery. They did have some inclement weather, and as you can see, some rain out in the back here and that kind of thing. So kind of a fall day for them, and that's what they had going on for the most part. Nothing super fabulous to talk about, but hey, you know, that's to be expected. It is Iceland, so that's what we've got there. Anyway, I'm going to put that one back on live. We'll take a look at the other one. Of course, this is the aluminum mill that they've got there, where they do the smelting and stuff. And it being somewhat cloudy and things like that, it was a little bit rough to see, but we did have a little bit of a hazy day there from the looks of things. Cape Lear in the foreground here. You can see the top of Ragnar in the back. So that is pretty awesome. And of course, that was from around 15 minutes or 13 minutes after 3 p.m. Is when that shot was from. And of course, that is the video ongoing, of course, because it is one of those cameras. And that's up on the Perlin, and looking to the, I guess it would be southeast, kind of from there. So pretty awesome to be able to see that anyway. So that's what we've got there. And while we're looking at things, let's pop out and have a look at our other place that is over at Catlap. And you can kind of see the ice. It's a lot of cloud over top of things here, and kind of a weird looking cloud. Almost looks like a lenticular cloud, and that kind of made me wonder. But Catlap is basically over here in that area, and these are the ice fields, or the edges of the ice fields that you can see there. And that is what it looked like there earlier. Of course, right now it is in the dark. Hang on, maybe this shot will show it a little bit better. I don't know. No, a lot of haze and stuff right over top of everything. So very difficult to see anything in other parts of the day. I wonder if we go back about 11 hours, if that'll work. Nah, it's about the same. You see just the edges of the ice fields here. But not going to worry about those guys. Anyway, I'll put it back on live. I'll put it back on the city view here. We'll pop over and have a quick look at the harmonic tremor chart for our Fagradalfjall area, and maybe Grimsey as well. And we'll take a look at Grindavik too, just to see what we've got. That's some cam view. Okay, impressive location. Yep. I made it myself, Colin. Kidding. Anyway, there's our harmonic tremor chart, and that is what we're seeing right now. And I'm just trying to get there. We refreshed it. Okay, so looking at what we see, of course, it is a downward trend. We never like seeing those. That is kind of, yeah, down we go is right. And that is kind of not so nice. We do see some earthquakes in here, fairly good one, and another one right beside it. And then we see another one in here. I don't know if you can see that. That was a 2.5. That was over a couple of valleys over. So we do have some quakes associated with this downward trend. I'm not sure if that's the actual cause, but certainly looks like it. Anyway, that is what we've got for Fagradalfjall. Let's take a look at Grimsey next, sliding down there a little bit. And where are we? There's Grimsey. And this is interesting, seeing that we've got, all of a sudden, we've got a lot of activity happening there in the ground at those frequencies. I don't know if that is going to indicate some kind of an eruption. Definitely going to have to keep an eye on that up in our northern areas of Iceland, and hopefully we will see what happens, and that's kind of what it is. Anyway, it's interesting. I wouldn't mind seeing a new island pop up there. Okay, let's go down and look at the Grindavik one. And we see that similar type of heavy disturbance there at Grindavik, even though we are on a downward trend. And that makes you wonder what the heck is going on. Because we didn't see that at Fuego. We do see it here. We did see it at Grimsey. I guess the name must start with a G before we see that, right? No, I'm kidding. Anyway, and that's what we've got down there. You do see another spike in there as well. So Grindavik likely had something happening there as well. Okay, so let's take a look at the earthquakes. And whoa, how'd that get so zoomed in? We'll zoom that back out and find out what the heck is going on. All right, so first off, we look at the whole area of Iceland. We see that it is 47 earthquakes in the last 24 hours. And not sure what the heck is going on, but we'll start up here in the top near Grimsey. There's Grimsey Island. And there we had some interesting quakes up there. 2.2 from 6:29 a.m. at 9.8 kilometers down for that guy. Then we had this one 1.46, 0.75 or 715 kilometers down, 2:53 a.m. Another 2.2 here. 6:29 a.m. 6.9 kilometers down, then 1.86, 9.3 kilometers down at just after midnight there, at 34 minutes after midnight. And then this guy here from 1352, 0.6, 5.2 kilometers down for him. And we don't see too many others right there. Definitely a big decrease from what we had in that area previously. Anyway, this one is from 3:48 a.m. It is a magnitude 1.26, and it was 1.144 kilometers down. And that is actually fairly shallow, so kind of makes a guy wonder, are we going to see an eruption there? But, you know, the fact that everything has roughly subsided makes you wonder. Looking at this one here from 1250, and that is a magnitude 1.04, and again same depth, 1.144. Makes you wonder what the heck is going on. Okay, going back down here, this is Astja, and then we'll take a look at the freshest one here from 1816, 0.2 with 5.5 kilometers down. And he had another little guy beside him from 3:46 a.m., 0.5 kilometers down for him. I'm not going to worry about those so much, and we'll take a look here at, there's Bardabunga, and this guy here is from 6:28 a.m., magnitude 1.97, 12.6 kilometers down. Then we have this guy over here, 0.84, 16.37 kilometers down, is actually from yesterday at 23:22. And let's go in and have a look at these ones. This is Grimsvatn, and Grimsvatn is one of those that we were just looking at, wondering if that is going to go sometime. Anyway, this 0.5, 3.6 kilometers down, from 2207, so very recent. This guy is from 1643, magnitude 1.96, and it is 1.53 kilometers down. And then the bigger one there from today as well, 2133, and magnitude 2.37, kilometer and a half down as well for that guy. And not sure if that's going to indicate any kind of an eruption, but it is there, and we wanted to share that with you. And let's take a quick look at this one down near the unpronounceable name. I'm still working on it. Anyway, 10:46 a.m. Magnitude 1.2, 5.2 kilometers down for that guy. And we move up a little bit. We see this guy here from 1951, 0.8, 5.2 kilometers down. And then we go up a little bit more, see a 1.83, 4.25 kilometers down from 5:36 a.m. And then we have from 6:04 a.m. Magnitude 1.26, 135 meters down, and that is right, or just about right underneath Hecla. And then we have this guy here, 1816 is the time on it, 0.3, very small, 7.3 kilometers down. Takes care of most of the quakes in Iceland, and then now all we've got is what we've got on the Reykjanes Peninsula. And let's start out with these guys on this end here. And that is a magnitude 1.86, 4.3, or just about 4.4 kilometers down from 1140, and the other one is a little smaller, 0.69, 4 kilometers down from 1146. And I don't think that's going to cause anything or shake anything up. We do like seeing the quakes here, though. This is interesting. But anyway, let's have a look at these ones right beside the lake. 0.3, 4.8 kilometers down, and 1850 was the time on that one. The other one also same time, 1850, 0.7, 5.2 kilometers down. And again, I'm not sure that's going to really set anything off, but we'll see. This guy here, 10:42 a.m., 1.36, 5.3 kilometers down for him. And then we've got this 1.3, 5.5 kilometers down from 4:53 a.m. We've got 1.67, 4.9 kilometers down. 2:37 is the time on that one. We'll get the next one right beside it, 0.59, 4.9 kilometers down, 2:38 a.m. And let's see what we got here. 2:41 a.m., 0.4, 135 meters down. The bigger one here, 2.45, and that is 3.992, so just about 4 kilometers. And that is 2:35 a.m. that we see there on him. So there's a couple others underneath there, but I'm not going to worry about that. This is a Kristevik area, and the fact that we've got the activity there is interesting. There is Kalir, and this is a little bit different or odd, seeing the quakes. Normally we don't see them out here, we see them in this area. So having a quake there is telling us something is changing. Anyway, 6:52 a.m. for this 0.75, 6.9 kilometers down for him. And 5:17 a.m. for this 0.81, 4.259 kilometers down. Then we'll grab this guy on the other side. 0.74 from 5:02 a.m. and that is 2.2 kilometers down. This one here, 0.7, just about 3.4 kilometers down from 6:55 a.m. and the last one for that area, and that would definitely affect our Philadelphia area. 6:52 a.m. 0.53 and only 166 meters down, so very close to the surface, and very interesting. And for those who aren't aware of it, our volcanoes are right in here. And there's Ragnar's right about here, and there's your Siggy Fisher. So that's not that far away, and it really does make a person wonder if we are seeing something rising there, although our harmonic tremor chart is going the opposite way. Anyway, the town of Grindavik, right down on the bottom here, you see the naval radio station antennas there. I've seen those, by the way. Those are pretty tall towers. You can't miss them. And then getting down here in the water from a 1358.66, 3.55 kilometers down for that guy. Zooming out a little bit and moving over on the peninsula a little bit more here. A 1.98, 5.19 kilometers down from 10:40 a.m. And then we have a 1.02, 5.1 kilometers, sorry, 5.5 kilometers down at 10:42 as well. 11:02 for this guy, 0.95, 7.2 kilometers down. This 1.08 is 5 kilometers down, and it was 6:25 a.m. Then we have a 0.96 from a 1:31 a.m., 6.4 kilometers down, and these are a little fresher. 22:20 was the time on that, 0.6, 4.5 kilometers down. Then we have a 0.8, 3.4 kilometers down, 22:16 was the time on that. And I do believe we have one more that was out a little ways. It was a 2 of some sort, and there it is, away out, 2.1, 1.1 kilometers down, and it was at 16:40. So that gives you a pretty good idea of what we've got for quakes in Iceland if we use the other map. And of course, you guys are welcome to have a look at that as well. It doesn't show the very, very small quakes on there, though, unfortunately. If it's below 1, they don't show it. But if you do grab this map, definitely you'll be able to zoom in and actually see where Ragnar is. And you can see Flow over here. And of course, there's our city Fisher. When they had taken this picture, that's what it was looking like. So pretty awesome, and you guys can always grab that map if you like. And that is pretty much it for our Iceland stuff for right now. We'll check on it in a little while here. During the breaks, I usually peek over and see if there's anything new. So we'll definitely have a look, though. Anyway, let's pop over and take a look in Sicily, see how things are doing there. I see the YouTube has set me back into lower quality again. Darn it, those guys. Anyway, it did clear off a little bit as the sun set, and it was cloudy for the most part during the day. This is kind of from, what is it, 1917? It was a fine year, right? No, 1917, that'd make it, oh my God, what would that be? 7:17 in the evening. There we go. And that's kind of what it looked like there as far as the output from that. I did do a little time lapse from earlier in the morning, though, and this is what we've got here for the time lapse. Just so you can see, this was just before 6 a.m. That we started the recording, and of course it was not bad looking out, and fairly clear skies, and of course this is running at a fairly high speed for the time lapse. We do like it. So you see it off-gassing a little bit. It really is a lot quieter today in comparison to what we've had in the past as far as the amount of off-gassing. So things are calming down there, and I wouldn't be surprised if in the near future that we won't see any smoke coming out of Etna for a while. So that is kind of what we've got happening there for right now. And kia ora, Amelia, welcome. I'm glad to have you on board. I see Arizona Snowman made it in. Good to see you. And John Raper's also here. I don't know if I said hi to any of you guys. Yeah, I did say hi to some of you. Anyway, we'll say hi to more as they pop in. I see Kathy is here. Welcome back, Kathy. And DJ also made it in. Good to see you. And we got Oz in the house, of course. Let's see, who else? David Astronomy Live with David Brewer is here as well. Good to have you on board. Anyway, let's carry on. Anyway, that wonderful little time lapse there, that one was a little bit longer than usual, but hey, better to have more than not enough, right? And you'll see the clouds kind of building up here in the end portion, and that's kind of when I quit with the video. So it is doing its thing, and it's neat to see those clouds form. I think that is really kind of wild and weird. Anyway, that's it for that one, and that is what Etna is looking like this morning. For right now, it's more in the dark, like that. So funny part is you can still see the outline a little bit, which is really kind of cool. We must have fairly clear skies. I can see a star over there, so pretty awesome to see that. Anyway, let's carry on and head to our next place of interest, and that'll be the Azores, and we'll have a quick shot at that, and I'll take a look. Of course, we are on the island of São Jorge, saying that in English, that we don't mispronunciate the Portuguese saying of São Jorge. I know, bad me. I don't speak Portuguese. Sorry. And of course, for those good people who aren't familiar with this shot, down on the front here, this is one of the small towns, and of course, this is a harbor with a bunch of lights in it. Just to give you a better idea, this is what it looks like during the day, and you can see across the strait there. The next island over is Pico Island, and that is Mount. Well, they call it Mount Montana now, but it's actually Mount Pico, or Pico Volcano for the most part. Anyway, that's kind of what we're seeing right now. So it is a little bit hazy and foggy. We're not seeing the lights from Pico Island that we normally see on a clear night. So a little bit on the rough side for them there. And if we pop over the next shot here, you can see raindrops on the actual camera lens. And you see down here in the bottom, what we always look for is how much white water we see, and we're seeing quite a bit of it tonight. The oceans are going to be rough. In case you're wondering what that looks like. Wrong one. This one. That's kind of what it looks like during the day, but this was not from today. This was from back in September 24th, just to give you an idea of what the area is and what it looks like, what we're looking at. So that's what we've got there for right now. Popping over, let's have a look at the earthquakes, and let's get rid of that guy for a second. I need to make that screen a little wider there. Come on, you can do it. There we go. And according to this, on São Jorge, we only had 2 quakes, and there's one it's a 1.8 from 4:39 a.m. Then we had the other one is a 1.6 from 1902. So not that many quakes on São Jorge, but because we know there's others in the area, we look at the other map here, and I do have to refresh this because it's not up to date. And oh well, maybe we are pretty much up to date, and we'll make this a little bit bigger. Come on, bigger. And it does look like those are the only 2 quakes we've got, and I don't see anything out in the other areas. Nothing over here, and nothing showing on the mid-Atlantic ridge right here. And of course, this is the North American plate, Eurasian plate, and on this side of the red line, that's the African plate. And this is kind of the junction point where those plates meet. I call it no man's land because it's kind of a triangle in here that has built up over years and very volcanic and that type of nature to it anyway. And it only shows those two quakes, and there they are on this map 4 hours ago, 1.6, and the other one 19 hours ago as a 2. And if we look down in the chart here, we see the 2 is 10 kilometers down. The other one was a surface quake. So plates of meat, no. The plates meat, I don't know about their feet. They don't have feet. I didn't know plates had feet. Anyway, that's all good. So estimated combined seismic energy, they're showing it as 7.9 to the 10 to the power of 7 joules, if you want to work that out, as 21.9 kilowatt hours. Yeah, cool. Like that's going to work for us. Anyway, that is it for that area, and pretty awesome, pretty cool. Quick peek over at some of our other ones, and I do happen to have our good old Fuego showing first. And while we're doing that, let's show you the little time lapse of Fuego of this early morning hours activity, if you want to call it that. Fuego was continuing to pop, and we see a bunch of different little bursts, as well as some fairly substantial bursts coming out of Fuego, and it's kind of neat and nice to see that. But I don't know, I'd rather see it in color. There was a bigger one, and definitely worthy of having a look at. So that's kind of what I captured earlier there today. Thanks, Kevin, for the 2-minute warning. All awesome. And yeah, that is kind of what we've got going on there at Fuego. And not sure how much is left. Oh, a few more seconds. All right, we'll let it play out. And that is actually pretty cool. I like seeing that. There was a couple extra bursts, and some of those bursts, though, when you see, you'll see that lava rolling down quite a ways, and of course then it changed the camera view, compliments of YouTube, and there we go. We'll fix that, and anyway, that's what it looks like there at Fuego right now this minute. It just had a little puff there, but we'll take a look at the other ones. And of course, volcano gray over at Popocatepetl, and I don't know if we even had anything earlier here. I know it was looking a little bit better earlier in the morning hours, and we did get some more of it off-gassing as well. And it was doing a fantastic job. This is kind of the golden hour, if you will, and we see some of that snow has receded just a little bit. We do see that we have a lot of ash on top of the snow on this side of the caldera right now, so looking not so bad. And we'll move that ahead a little bit to our little poof. And there you see what's coming out at 7:42 a.m. And that was what it was doing. I'm going to just advance it by 5 seconds at a time here to give you a little bit better of an idea. And we like it, and that is pretty awesome. Okay, so it did that for the most part. Kept on puffing away. Just going to the other one here, and that was 8:47 I got written down, and that's where we were seeing then again some very dark gray ash coming out with the gases and so on. and kind of interesting to see that, some of the ejecta is just gas, and then at other times it's full of ash and all kinds of other materials, and pretty awesome to see nonetheless. And of course that cleared itself out after a little while there as well. Okay, sliding ahead a little bit, I don't think we had too much else, and that's when it became volcano gray again, and that is kind of what we were subject to for the rest of the day. Not much we can do, and I'll leave it at that. Okay, I am going to go take a break, though. It is that time, and all those good people who are here, if you have not yet hit that like button and you're enjoying the show, by all means give that like button a quick shot. And also want to say, if you haven't subscribed yet and you're liking the show, by all means hit the subscribe button. I see we don't have that many people in here today, so not a big problem. And I understand things are up and down. Everybody wants to see a brand new fresh lava, and I don't blame them. I want to see that too. Anyway, I'm going to do my thing and throw the music back on. I'll be back in about 5 minutes. Don't go away, you guys. Keep smiling and play nice in the lava. the microphone is back on. Welcome back, everyone. I'm glad to have you on board today. I'm your host, DrFox2000, and you're watching VolcanoX live stream. On screen right now, you have some footage that was recorded August 14th of the Siggy Fisher, and it is doing a wonderful. And let's see, a bunch of welcome backs from Sue Hayes and DJ Puff the Third, and Oh Mummy of Hamsters says welcome back, Uncle Doc. And let's see, we've got Susie says welcome back as well, and thanks Lizoid, and Kevin Williams and Kevin Haynes, and wow, everybody's here. Okay, cool. I haven't seen Sharon Stewart yet. I wonder where she is. Maybe singing or something. Pistol Pete is here too. Welcome, Pistol Pete. Good to have you on board. And let's carry on with all our stuff here. We were looking at a Fuego and those places. I'm going to stop our lava flow here though. We need to do that and just to freeze it in its tracks. There we go. I like that. Freezing lava. Wow. Anyway, we'll leave that on the screen and we'll go over back over to our Mexican stuff, and then we'll work our way south just to have a quick look and see if they got any new pictures happening. And Mumbo Tumbo. Whoop, hang on. Oh, why is that not changed yet? There we go. And Momotombo is there, and that picture apparently from a little while ago today, and not seeing too much. We do see it is off-gassing, and it is from a distance though, not seeing anything newer happening there. Let's take a look at the other ones. Nope, this one of Messiah in Nicaragua still stuck. And of course, that one is still stuck as well. And that is the caldera of Messiah, looking down into the deep dungeon pit. And you don't want to fall into that one; you'll never get out. It's a death trap. Anyway, I'll put it back there. That way, I know where I am. Next guy up is this our wonderful Ruapehu. And Ruapehu, you know, some days it makes us happy, other days it does not. Very hard visibility, but right now we're seeing a lot of activity going on. So it is erupting, and we see some of that material here. I'm wondering if it's coming down the hill as well as clouds blowing up. It is morning hours there, so what happens is there's a lot of humidity that burns off as the sun comes up, and that may be some of what that cloud is in front of Ruapehu right now. If we go back a little bit in time, it did look a little bit different. You can see the heavy plume coming out of it at that point, and if we go back a little bit further in the wee hours, kind of the same thing again. We see some heavy pluming, but not too terribly much. I was hoping to see some lava coming down the hill. Unfortunately, I did not. And going back even further, just really nothing major happening there. I think there might have been something right here, and we do see some dust traces here from material rolling down the hill, but no visible lava as per se, and that is kind of what we've got. But we do see it is off-gassing and continuing to do that, so maybe one of these days we'll see some wonderful lava popping out of there, and it would be really, really nice. Let's pop over to New Zealand for a second or two, and oh my God, do you guys see that on the screen? Yeah, it is what it is. Snowflakes. Ruapehu. Yeah, zoom in. Yeah, there it is. Santa Claus is coming? I don't know. It is snowing there. and that is not good. Yeah, that is bad. Don't say that dirty. Yeah, I don't want to. And yeah, it's it's doing its thing. Look at that. That's horrible. Oh my God! I thought winter was over for those guys, and they're in spring or something. Anyway, we'll go back a little ways here and see what it looked like earlier from the longer distance shots. And yeah, that's not so appealing, is it? Uh, oh boy, kind of makes you wonder what the heck is going on. So, anyway, since we can't see Ruapehu, we do have a nice picture though, and thank you, Sue, for sending that in. And this is the caldera of Ruapehu. You can see the big lake at the end. It's clear skies there, by the way, when they took this picture. No snow happening. But you do see snow in the picture as well. And that is pretty awesome to be able to actually see the top of it. So, so happy I'm north. Yeah, Oz, yeah, be thankful you're much further north. Anyway, that is what we are seeing there right now. Or wow, this picture was pretty awesome to be able to see and see that lake. So if something happens up there and they get a big eruption, of course, with that lake, that'll make a heck of a boom if the water hits the magma, and that'll be really well, I won't say cool. It'll be actually very devastating to have the large pyroclastic explosions up top there. Anyway, that is Ruapehu right now, or wow, yeah, we'll go back to right now. Right now is snowing, and we don't like it. That is the shot right now in that area, of course. Further north is probably no snow, but definitely some where they are right there. And you can see on some of those pine trees, it's already built up a fair amount. Even on the roofs, we're starting to see some accumulation of that wonderful white stuff. Let's go back to warmer places, and we'll continue on. So let's have a look at this guy here, and that is, of course, Krakatoa. Let me see if we can get that closer up view. There we go. And that is what it is looking like there. 6:40 a.m. Roughly time-wise. Left-hand picture is a little bit further distant from the volcano, but you can see the off-gassing and creating its own clouds, but there's also a lot of cloud stuff going on. Want to make a note of this. We see a spike here, so it's just dropping out of some nasty eruption that we were seeing there earlier. And of course, there you can see the smoke or steam and off-gassing happening right out of the crater, and that is up in the top here. So pretty awesome. Let's I'm trying to get to that screen to actually work on it a little bit and move it back. And we want to go back about an hour or so and see what it looked like there. And that is, no, we want to go a little bit further. 2 hours. Let's go 2 hours. There we go. And again, looking at that chart, actually, I think I may want to go back a little bit more. But you can see it was lit up fairly well. And there you can see that shot from the caldera. We did definitely have some decent glow in there. But I thought we were seeing a little bit more earlier. Let me get to it. Yeah, there. That's about it. So anyway, it does show activity, and that is the important part. And it was lighting up even the clouds above it. Really kind of neat to see that. Probably going to see lots of SO2 coming out of this one, and that'll be pretty awesome. Let's see. Fair enough. I don't eat the blue cheese. Uh-oh. Yeah, no. Don't eat the blue cheese. That's a science project. Anyway, this is what it was a little bit earlier there, 2:10 a.m. Roughly, and that is their time, and that does show a fair amount of eruptive activity. So really, really interesting, and hopefully, it will do stuff again and not throw out so much SO2, but rather show some decent lava flows and create a much, much bigger island. And that's what I would love to see there. And it's nice to see some of that stuff pluming up the way it is. Looks like it was raining there a little bit, and you can see how well lit up the plume is. Really kind of awesome to see that. Anyway, we'll leave that guy be. I don't know if our Samaru shot is worthy of looking at. Let me fix that screen up here, and we'll go back a little bit and see if we can even find anything of Samaru. All I was seeing was a volcano gray for the most part, and I think that is exactly what we've got. So, yep, not going to see anything of Samaru today, unfortunately. So that one is a strikeout, and I'll leave that guy be, and I'm going to leave him on here so I know where to look when I do look for that page. And that's it right there. So, okay, next one on our list, of course, heading up a little further north, we're going to Japan. And we'll have a quick peek at Japan. Oh, I can turn that banner off on this one. That's actually the screenshot page that I used today with the close-up of there. And we'll get to that in a minute or so. I got to get myself onto that screen, and there we go. And that is current. I see the crane is being put in place. They're going to pick up some more fish coming out of there. Anyway, we see it off-gassing fairly well. And if we go back in time a little bit, we see that it was darker off-gassing earlier with some ash and stuff like that in there, and billowing out some material. So definitely active and doing its thing. And we go back a little bit more when the sun was hitting it. Looks pretty nice. And there we go. You can see some of that material coming out. Quick look at the other one. Ice cream boat is there, you guys. If you want to get an ice cream, there is one boat, and definitely be able to get that. Anyway, Sakurajima from a little bit further distance, and we can see that it was doing its thing. If we go back to earlier in the morning, we see it like that. So it looks pretty awesome. Get into the wee hours. It was looking like it was throwing out a lot more than expected. Anyway, I'm going to put that one back to live, and then I'm going to play a time-lapse of the close-up cam from the caldera from this morning, their time. So here it is, and this is, of course, a lot faster than regular time, but you get the idea of what it was doing and how that material was coming out. You can definitely see that it is a fairly darkish gray. The sunlight is starting to hit it at that point in time, so that is pretty cool. Hey, Ed H is in here. Welcome, Ed. Glad to have you here from wonderful British Victoria, British Columbia. So nice to have you on board. And it's awful that what it is. Okay. Anyway, looking looking pretty interesting to see that, and of course the plumes did continue. No, it really nice. Okay. I hope it's nice. Anyway, that is kind of interesting to see that, and then of course we see the clouds just trying to form right in front of it, and then dissipating again. And I don't know if it's partially the heat there or what's going on, but interesting and nonetheless to be able to see that as the sunlight gets up there and hits it. We can definitely see though that is not that pure white steam coming out of there. This is full of ash and other different materials. Anyway, that's it for right there, and we'll turn that guy off. Hey, the ice cream boat is leaving, and we see it right there. Bye, ice cream boat. We'll catch you later. Anyway, that's kind of what we've got there. Let's see if we can get over to our next one, and I see it's already died again. I hate when that happens, and it starts out with commercials. Oh boy, let's skip those and see if we can get to it. I'm looking for a tall volcano, you guys, and hopefully that'll come on here. No, Taal is not working for me for some reason, but that's okay. Let's carry on. We'll jump over Taal. I'll wait for it to restart, and hopefully it will. There, of course, is our Yellowstone National Park in the United States, and of course we are seeing some of the geysers steaming away that we always see there. Yellowstone is full of geysers. They have over 500 active geysers in Yellowstone National Park, so pretty awesome to see that. And a bunch of Sasquatches running around and things like that. The occasional buffalo, and that is about it. So wasn't bad to see that, and we did like that. So we'll leave that one be. And if they do get the shot at Old Faithful there, we'll see if we can show that. But right now they're pointing elsewhere. So Old Faithful probably went a little while ago. Piggy might be lurking, and that is where she could be right now, in the Lurkers Lounge. I don't think Piggy is too chatty right now. But we have something that one of Piggy's friends sent her, so we're going to show that one with our bacon seeds once we get to that point. And anyway, Hawaii real quick, and there we are in the caldera at Kilauea, and of course we see our lava pond. Over on this end is where the lava flows in and streams into the little lava pond. We see some brighter spots. Of course, those brighter areas are where the lava is actually draining out, and there's bubbles, gas bubbles coming up, breaking up the thin surface lava crust that has built up on top of that lava pond. And you can see those very prominently on this end as well as over here. The toe area that we talk about is right there, and not seeing too much. It is still several meters down, 2 to 3 meters down in level from being full. So I'm still kind of holding my breath and hoping it'll refill. Real quick, going to refresh that one. That was from yesterday, of course. There you can see the pattern has changed a little bit with the flow coming out of the lava tube on this end. And there's our toe area. Don't see the bright spots there. We do see one a little bit over. And then we see that one here where it's likely draining out as it pours back in. still several meters down as far as level is concerned. So, uh, Kramabi, yep. Yeah, I don't eat things that slither either. Slither or slimy? Not for me. Neither one. Anyway, I'll leave that alone. Okay. And next shot of our Kilauea, of course, was from yesterday as well. And that is very smoky there. You do see the lava pond. Our primary vent is right about here, but not much we can see otherwise. We do see over here that steam is actually going up quite a ways on this side. And again, I suspect that we're going to see a portion of this break off in the future. Let's redo that, or get the current image. And I've hit the refresh button there. Hopefully it'll give us a brand new image. Come on, you can do it. Wow, it's taken a long time. Okay, well, it's taken too long. Let's go over to the other side of the caldera over here and take a look at yesterday's image from what we were seeing. And of course, there's the lava pond, and this is from the opposite direction. So that smoke coming up in this area here is from that vent that was on the side there that we were looking at earlier. Primary vent right there, the little hornito with the lava tube would be right about here, and that is pretty awesome. We see this guy smoking more, and I'm wondering if we are going to get another spot here that might be getting a little on the hot side. Yep, there it is. I got the other picture refreshed, and that doesn't look like it's today's. 13:55. Yep, it does look like it. It must be fairly cloudy there right now, because 13:55 Hawaii time, and that's what we've got. Okay, a quick peek at the thermal cam. There's the one from last night. You can see a primary vent is here, hornito is there, lava tube would be underneath, going in there. There's your lava pond toe area, and not too much lit up stuff anywhere else. Gonna really give it a quick shot here to see if it'll load. I wonder if they got some problems with their internet, because that should have loaded just about instantly. And anyway, that should be good for right now. I'm going to leave it at that for Hawaii. We'll put this back here and let you guys watch and see. Pre-tray, Dr. Fox. Oh, anyway, I see the it did switch on us. Finally loaded. The electrons are slow, and that is the current thermal image from Hawaii. And there we see it is a little bit calmer looking right now. Anyway, we'll leave it at that. I'm going to go take that break, you guys. So for all those good people that are here, please do hit that like button if you are enjoying the show. Also, if you have not yet subscribed, consider subscribing, and that would be pretty awesome. And that should be good for right now. When we come back from the break, we will have bacon seeds. So smile and play nice in the lava. I'm your host, DrFox2000, here in Edmonton, Alberta, Canada, where it is now raining. I'll be back later, you guys. Thanks. we are. I am back. Welcome or welcome back, everyone. I'm glad to have you all on board today. And Susie, thanks, Susie. Oh, Mummy of Hamster says, welcome back, Uncle Doc. And then thanks, John and Sue and Kevin Haynes and John and Susie. I think I got all of those. I'm sure there's probably one or two more. We'll see what happens. But that's all great. Thank you, everyone. I do appreciate that. You guys are awesome, and glad that you're all here in our wonderful Lava family. Okay, I did promise bacon seeds, so let's see if we can stop our volcanic action here for right now, and we will. Wow, I got it right at the crest of a eruption. That is pretty neat. Splash up. It's what? It's a race now. Dr. Fox. Yeah, okay, no worries. Why are we racing? We don't need to race. It's not a race. And no, never mind. I can't tell that joke. It's too dirty. Okay, I can see why you would say that, Doc. Okay, Susie, no problem. Sandra Rockland, welcome, and just in time for bacon seeds. You bet. We're going there right now, and we're going to have a look at bacon seeds. Of course, these were the sunny little spotted fellas from yesterday. Last ones that we seen had to have a place to start, so we'll carry on with that. And there is our next one, since it is that time of year. I guess 4 or 5 in a pumpkin there is pretty doable, and that is pretty awesome. Scary masks those little critters have, and I like it. Morse code for what? Who's doing Morse code? For the letter V? Da-da-da-da? Sorry, and that's 3 dots and a dash. Yeah, when you think Morse code, you think differently. Anyway, it's all good. And next, bacon seed, keeping in the flavors of fall season and Halloween. That one is pretty nice. I like that. He's smiling. He likes being decorated. And look at all the leaves changing color and all kinds of things for that wonderful piggy. And really enjoying what he's trucking around in there. And very awesome. I think he was eating some pumpkin from the looks of what's hanging off of his mouth there. Possibly. Anyway. Anyway, we'll see. Boo Bacon. Yep, Boo Bacon. That's scary. Speaking of Boo Bacon, and here's another one in the pumpkin patch. And he's smirking. He's saying, these pumpkins are all mine. Or at least this big one is mine. I want to go inside. And that is pretty awesome. And let's get to our next one. I really do like that picture, though. That looks really nice. That little piggy looks happy. This one, I don't know if he looks happy. He looks like he might be laughing or something. He's sticking out his tongue and kind of smirking. I think he might have had a look at that pumpkin face and got a giggle out of it. Really cute. And of course, let's go to our next one and see what we've got. And that is this little guy in the basket. Beautiful fall colors in the background. And yep, piggy in a basket. I gotta love it. And very nice. And let's go to our last bacon seed for today. And that is this one, another one in a pumpkin patch. And he's smirking and smiling too, because he knows he's going to have some pumpkins to eat. And pumpkins, I guess pigs like pumpkin, from what I heard. So they really do enjoy that. and that is really, really awesome. So, having said all that, of course, these are all from Piggy, and we really do appreciate Piggy. She's a wonderful person, and we, of course, are still kind of feeling the shot from her wonderful two dogs passing away. And speaking of that, a friend of hers sent her something fairly nice, and I'm going to share that with you guys here. Piggy did throw that out and said to share it with you. We thank you for the love. And yeah, Wicker and and I'm sorry if I'm butchering the name, but is Treasel? I hope I said it right, or Treasel. Wicker and Treasel. Anyway, that was sent to Piggy by one of her friends, and that is an awesome, awesome picture. So, yeah. Treacle. Okay, Treacle. I hope I said it right. Thanks, Piggy. And my bad for making a mistake there, but that is wonderful to see, and that is kind of what really gets to you. Okay, so thanks for sharing that, Piggy, and thank you very much for all the bacon seeds and everything else that you have provided. That is awesome, and we really do appreciate you, and hope all the best for you. And that was good. Okay, we'll carry on from here. Thank you again, Piggy. I really do appreciate it. And we'll go back to our stuff about Hawaii. We wanted to actually look at the earthquakes from Hawaii, and let's pop over there real quick and take a look at some of the earthquakes. And I need to get on the right map, and we'll have a look and see what we've got there. So let's carry on with that. And anyway, there we go. Zooming into our big island of Hawaii. There's the island chain, and of course, looking down here, we see two areas that are really being bombarded, and that is down here, and of course up on top of Mauna Loa, and makes you wonder what's going on there. These are out a little bit further, and if we actually go to the ocean view, it gives you a little bit more of an idea that it is just off the coast on the downward slope. And we will go through these real quick here. 39.8 kilometers down for this 2.6 from yesterday at 23:39 their time. And also from yesterday 2.5, 1900 was the time, 39.1 kilometers down. This one 2.2, 41.6 kilometers down from 1904 yesterday. And this 23:43 is the time on this one, 2.3 and 40.5 kilometers down. I'm going to switch it back to the satellite view and zoom in a little bit here so we can get these other ones. And the Pahala area, we'll have a look at these. 1.8, 2:03 a.m., 33.7 kilometers down. For that guy, actually, most of these in the Pahala area are between 26 and about 35, 36 kilometers down, so we don't need to mention the depth, but that is what we've got there. Next one, 2.0 and 2:06 a.m. Today. Then we have a 2.4, 6:21 a.m. Today, 1.9 from 8 a.m. So these are all fairly fresh. Let's grab this guy here from yesterday at 1918 for this 2.1. Then we have this guy 2.6 from today, 1709. We'll grab that guy first. 1.7, 8:48 a.m. For him. And the other side was a 1.5 at 8:53 a.m. Going up a little bit more, we see a 1.5 from 8:45, and then we have a 3.4, a whole bunch bigger, and that is a 2:38 a.m. And let's see, 1.9, 12:18 was the time on that guy, and then this one 2.1. From yesterday at 22:13, and that is it for the Pahala area. Let's we can actually close that. Let's take a look up on top of Mauna Loa real quick, and again these depths will vary. This one from today 1.6 10:04 a.m. 700 meters above sea level. This is a 1.9, this is 1.3 kilometers above sea level from 15:14, and then we have this guy here 1.9, 11:22 a.m. 1.7 kilometers above sea level, well into the mountain I guess. 1.4, 7:34 a.m. 1.1 kilometers above sea level. Then we have this one here 1.8. 9 a.m. From 700 meters above sea level. Then this one here, 0.5, 9:36, 800 meters above sea level. Then we have 1.7 from 9:04, 600 meters above sea level. And we have this one, 2.3, 9:28 a.m. and 800 meters above sea level, which is well into the mountain. So that's what it kind of gets at. It's letting you know it's above sea level, right? 9:26 a.m. for this 1.3, 800 meters above sea level. Then our swarm over here only has the one today, 1.0 from 8:05 a.m. That is 2.9 kilometers below sea level. And that is what we see in that area. And we see a straggler over here, 2.7, kind of an odd place. We don't typically see them there. That was from yesterday at 21:47. And then we'll get over here into our Kilauea area. The only quake I see is one of the ones over by the fissures here, 1.4, and that is 2.8 kilometers down from 11:22 today. Not seeing any more from Kilauea. And there's the older view or picture of Kilauea's crater. Unfortunately, it's not showing the newer stuff the way it is now. But hey, from the crater floor up to the top of the lava, it is about 144 meters, or roughly about 470 feet. Since it's started erupting back in September 29 of last year, it has produced approximately 111 million cubic meters of lava or magma coming out of there. If you want to put that in gallons, it's 29.2 billion gallons. That's billion. So lots of lava coming out of there, or magma. And that's kind of it for Hawaii. And we will take a look at some of the other ones around the world real quick. First ones we like to hit are the ones with the red dots. 4.8 Mariana Islands, and that was from 1748 UTC, 10.8 kilometers down. Hope that they're not going to get too many more in that area. Going up here, seeing Dawson City, Canada. That's up in the Yukon. That is another quake that we didn't see before. 4.5 in magnitude at 2:26 a.m. 10 kilometers down on that guy. And if we slide down the coasts, we see here in Peru 5.8 and just on the coast, and that was from 2:26 a.m. 48.3 kilometers down for that guy. And then we had a couple more here in Chile, 4.7, 1850 from yesterday, 96.5 kilometers down. Then we had a 4.4, that's actually in Argentina already, just across the border there from Chile, from 1948, and that was yesterday's as well. South Sandwich Islands, where our wonderful Michael volcano is located, 5.1 from 12:16 today, their time, and that was 10 kilometers down. We don't see anything new in the New Zealand or our Fiji area, nothing in Tonga, so it's nice that they were able to have a good night's sleep without the ground shaking. For a change. I do see here in Papua New Guinea 4.7 though from yesterday at 23:27, and that was 88 kilometers down. We do have this 4.4, and that is, I'm really not sure what we want to call that, Barat Daya, Indonesia. Anyway, 134 kilometers down from 1309. There we go, got it right. We looked at this guy already. Let's keep going. Japan had a little one, 4.8. 1304 was the time at that one, and 64.1 kilometers down. That dyslexia keeps getting me. Anyway, the other area of interest, of course, was here in at the end of the Reykjanes Peninsula, Reykjanes Ridge, and we've seen that swarm happening there. And of course, it seems to be dissipating a little bit, and we don't see any new quakes. And you know, when things take a break for a day or two, then the quakes disappear, and then all of a sudden the lava starts moving up. Unfortunately, we don't see any really small tremors in that area unless we have something new showing on the other map, which I will have to refresh here real quick just to check it. And they're showing the stack. They're actually not showing that many. These are from a couple of days ago here. So yesterday's for that one, that is yesterday's. That is yesterday's as well, 4.6 and a 4.5. They're all from yesterday. So nothing new according to that map either. So let's continue on, and that's it for our earthquakes for right now in that area. Going to pop over to our wonderful Canary Islands, and we'll have a quick look there. I'm refreshing it because we want to get the latest. And there we go. Looking at what we've got going on. Looks like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 quakes there today. So 1.3 from 2:02 a.m., 10 kilometers down. We got a 0.8. That was from 2:57, 11 kilometers down. 0.8 from 2:58, 10 kilometers down. And then we have a 1.3 from 3:52 a.m., 13 kilometers down. 1.1 from 4:16 a.m., 11 kilometers down. Another 1.0, 4:26 a.m., 13 clicks down. A 1.3, 5:08 a.m., 10 kilometers down. And then we see another 1.1 at 5:33, also 10 kilometers down. And then a 1.6 from 14:46, 12 kilometers down. And that one's kind of a little bit weird spot, very close to not Tazacorte, but the other town that's right there, the one I can't remember. Los Llanos, that's the one. And this one is Tazacorte, the latest one, from 1.6 in magnitude, 2325, 10 kilometers down. So interesting to see that we are getting some of that activity there again. one of the things I was watching some of the, I mentioned this yesterday, looking at some of the very interesting stuff that was going on there as far as the content of the lava that was coming up, and during that Cumbre Vieja eruption, and a lot of it had little bits and pieces and chunks of old ocean crust in there. And that is one of the things I had asked Professor Troll exactly how deep that floor was coming from, and he had indicated between 12 and 14 kilometers down. And that is kind of neat to see that. So, very, very interesting. Thanks, Kevin, for that 2-minute warning there. I'm kind of watching the clock as well here, so not bad. So that's very interesting. So if you see those white spots or inclusions in the lava flows, that's what it is. That is actually material that is from the ocean crust that has been brought up rather than just from the standard magmatic material from down below. And you'll see it kind of looks neat. It was crystallized. A lot of it was high in quartz content, and once you melt that, it does stay together and kind of coagulate for a bit, but does really interesting patterns in the actual lava, and you see those big white spots, kind of like that. Be back later. Okay, in Bunnyland. Yep, Bunnyland is raining, and no problem. It is time for a break, though, you guys. I'm going to put you back over onto the lava here. I'll let you watch that. That is canned lava from our Siggy Fisher from August 14th, and that is what we've got there. Play nice. Hit that like button if you guys haven't done so already. Also, if you're new, sitting on the outside, you want to chat with the good people in the chat. They are very friendly. Most of them don't bite, so we're pretty good with that. And you're welcome to join in. And on that friendly note, I'm your host, DrFox2000, here in rainy Edmonton, Alberta, Canada. I'm going to take a 5-minute break or thereabouts. Then we'll carry on with having a look at our volcano map, and sliding into and get some of that weather under our belt, whether we like it or not, right? Weather? Okay, never mind. I'll be back, you guys. Keep smiling, play nice. Thanks. Welcome back. Welcome back, everyone. Glad to have you all on board. Maria says it's windy. Almost blew away. Holy mackerel, Maria. You better put some rocks in your socks. That way it'll keep you from flying away. Anyway, glad to have you on board. And let's see, one fish, thank you. I hear you. I'm glad you do. That is awesome. And thanks, Kevin Haynes and Sue and all the others that are saying welcome back. You guys are awesome. Tornadoes are bad at night, plus rain wrapped gladly what you did not blow away. Yeah, we're really happy she is still there and didn't blow away. And yep, one fishy in the house. And nice to have you on board. One fish 26, all cool. And let's park our wonderful lava here. We're going to stop that, freeze it. We're going to freeze the lava. And there, poof, froze it. And I like having that power. It is nice. Anyway, let's get back over to our maps. We were looking at earthquakes, and then we wanted to get to our volcano map, have a quick peek. I did refresh it on the break, so it should be good to go. Anyway, you can see Asja is the only one showing up there on our wonderful Iceland, and then of course Terceira and St. George right there in the Azores. Michael Volcano down here where this 5.3 happened a little while ago. So not too bad. Looking at the rest of our wonderful ring of fire, and we do see these bigger quakes here. 5.8, which is about 30 miles down, 48.3 kilometers down, just off of Peru. And then they had another one that was smaller yet. That's about 18 hours ago. We also see one here a little bit on the into the Gulf side of Nicaragua, 4.6. And that is kind of interesting, and that happened, that's really deep, 512 kilometers down, and that happened, what was it, 2:28 a.m. For those good folks for today. We do see those other ones on the coastline here. Some of those are a little bit older, but not going to worry about them. Nothing really new showing here in our Aleutian Islands, all these guys. They did put Trident on there. Okay, that is interesting. So Trident, we should maybe, I'll see if I can find some information on it for tomorrow. But Trident is one that they've been watching some uplift, and that is kind of new on the map here. We'll see what happens with that one. In the future, that may cause an eruption. We'll see. Pavlov, Cleveland, and of course Great Sitkans and Semi there. Davidoff still off. It is green, so that not going to worry about that. Kamchatka Peninsula still looking pretty awesome. Shivelish is red, and of course Bezimiani and Karimsky are an orange. Then we get to Ibico. It is still considered erupting as well. And the one behind it is Alade, and it is still there, but in an orange state. Looking at what we've got down here in New Zealand, of course, Taupo, and of course White Isle volcano just to the north of New Zealand, a little bit on a separate island, and those are still yellow. Tofua and Tonga, as well as Home Reef, no real change. Yasur still erupting, and his buddies are still there. Everything here, I think we might have another one here that popped up and turned into yellow. I can't remember if there was two there. Anyway, that's what we're seeing there in Papua New Guinea. And then, of course, Luolatok is still there. Raung is the yellow one, and then Semaru, Marapi, and Krakatau still working away. Zooming in a little bit, Ibiko and Kono are still there, still red, and going up. Hey, here's a change. Taal. Taal is an orange. So, hey, we may see Taal volcano do something in the future. I would have thought Mayon might have turned orange as well, but it is Taal. That is of very big interest here. And of course, that is in Taal Lake. And there you can see what it looks like from up above. The lake inside that caldera, and that's usually what we're seeing steaming. And it is interesting that they've raised it to an orange level. So hopefully everyone in the area will be aware of that, and they will take their precautions as necessary, because if that goes, that could be a very violent eruption. Piton de la Formes is still doing its thing, and that is out on Reunion Island. And then, of course, we have the other ones, Mayat and the other one here, still doing their thing. Old Doño still there, throwing out its black carbonate lava. And it's cold stuff, by the way. It's not as hot as the other stuff. And when we're talking cold, we refer to it as about 500 degrees Celsius, which is really not that cold, but for lava it is typically fairly cold. And then, of course, our DR Congo stuff still doing its thing. Urta Ale still there. And zooming in a little bit more. And there we have Etna, Volcano, and Stromboli, and of course Campi up here. Campi showing as a yellow. I don't know why they show Campi. It should be just as much. Vesuvius showing as a yellow as well. I don't know. I just don't see the activity from Campi. But Vesuvius is quiet. We don't need to worry about it. But if it does ever go, we need to worry big time for these people, because there are approximately 2.5 million people in that area. If that ever erupted, we would definitely have some problems for them. Anyway, let's get over to our weather maps, and I did not refresh those, so we will see what we can do to get those refreshed really quickly. And there we go, and yep, it says rain for us right now. North America not looking too bad. We do see some extra stuff here in Alberta, and that is some forest fire activity going on in the Rockies there, and that's what's causing that. Pretty much normal in the U.S. I'm not going to say it's heavy duty, but that's people pollution for the most part. And looking at what we're seeing here in Mexico, normally we see those plumes coming out into the Pacific from Popocatepetl and Mexico City combined, but right now it looks like it is continuing to go over the Gulf of Mexico and hitting into Florida, and then continuing on. As we go down the coast, though, in Central America, that is flowing back out into the Pacific like it always does. Same thing with Colombia, and as well as here in Peru, or sorry, Ecuador. I mean, Peru is down here. But it looks like that circulation is kind of stuffing it back into Ecuador. And we see the change here in Peru where the wind currents change, and then Sabancaya is off-gassing. It's heading down the other direction. And I don't believe this is Sabancaya. This is the other one. Ubinas. Let's see. Oh, it doesn't look very good in the full screen. Let's just see how much is off-gassing from it real quick if it gets to a daytime shot. Yeah. No, we know it's not coming from Ubinas. It's got to be from the other one, from Sabancaya. Anyway, looking at the rest of the stuff, pretty normal for the most part, and that is flowing out there. Dr. Fox, what are the invisible tornadoes? Invisible tornadoes, do you know? Can you please explain to me? And crayons? Okay. Well, invisible tornadoes, you're not going to see a tornado if there is no material within it. Okay, if you have very, very little or low or no actual moisture in there that is whirling around, or debris. If you've just got what we call invisible tornadoes, I refer to them, or what I learned way back when, as invisible tornado is basically clean air tornado. It is basically swirling around. You don't see it because it is clean air, and we kind of learned that when we're taking our flight school stuff about what you could have happening up there, and you may not be able to see it, and you get into one of these things, and that is really kind of nasty. Sometimes you get dust devils. Yeah, DJ, that's not a dust devil. It would be prior to that dust devil touching down. And, if the dust devil doesn't touch down, it can stay up aloft a little bit and not create any type of vortex that you could see. So this is something that you got to keep in mind. And if you're flying through it with a small aircraft, you could end up snapping the wings off and going head over heels without knowing what really hit you. And it's hard to say sometimes, but that is kind of what it is. And if it doesn't actually make it to the ground, if it's just a funnel up in the air, that is kind of what we look at as what we refer to as a clean air tornado. And that, technically a tornado, a funnel or vortex, it's not a tornado till it touches down, right? So it's kind of a misnomer as far as the description of it. But a regular tornado normally touches the ground, and you see all kinds of things flying up into it. And that is kind of what it is. Anyway, they're scary is what they are. Anyway, let's carry on. Take a look at the other areas. And of course, here we see White Isle Volcano, New Zealand. It is off-gassing. Taupo, not doing anything for us there. We see Tofua here in Tonga still doing its thing. We don't see anything coming off of Home Reef Volcano at this point in time. Yasur and his buddies are still doing the same thing. Down here near Melbourne, we have the oil refineries down here that are making some of that. And then the coking plants north of Sydney doing this little mess up there, sliding up a little bit more, pretty normal looking for Papua New Guinea. And then I don't know why we have this plume here. Didn't see this one before, but we'll take a look and see what happens. I gotta check that one in the future. And looking here, Luolatak would be making this mess. And then you've got Ra'ung, I think, has gone quiet, and Semeru would be making most of this plume. This would be from our Merapi, and Jakarta and Krakatau would be making that plume for the most part. Sliding up a little bit more and looking at the other ones. Ibu and Dakono are responsible for this. And then when we look over here, remember yesterday I had mentioned it was very difficult to tell with all the stuff going on whether it was something coming from Taal, but obviously if it's been raised to an orange level, Taal is throwing something out. Mayon over here is responsible for this little plume, but of course here in this area you also have Manila, and that is a very populated city, but there is a Taal volcano inside Taal Lake, and that is kind of neat to see. Okay, sliding up a little bit more, and we see this massive plume out here. And I don't know if that's going to go away or if there's more stuff there. I just don't know why it's still out there. A lot of it did come from China, but why are we seeing it in such big intensity out here? It kind of just blows me away. Anyway, Taiwan's still doing a pretty normal. China is still doing its thing. And then what I mentioned earlier here about Sakurajima, and then that was one of the reasons I did that little short video on what it was producing there, and the fact that it was heading southward definitely created a lot of SO2. Down here, of course, would be Suwanoshijima doing its thing as well. But yep, that is kind of what we got, this heavy spot here. I hope that dissipates. That is very high in SO2 levels, but not as high as what Tonga had put out way back when. So I'm thinking this is possibly pollution from China, but I don't know. I can't guarantee it. Sliding up a little bit more, we see Kamchatka Peninsula in total very light output in comparison. And then we go down here, South Africa. We see what's going on there. Still more pollution from them. And then this plume that was over here yesterday has moved over. And of course, the ones that we thought it was coming from was Reunion Island, and we're really not seeing too much from Reunion Island, from Piton out there. And of course the other area here, the other island, I don't know, that's just a little bit of people pollution, but we do see that big plume there as well. Going to keep an eye on it and see what happens. As soon as we get some rain, it'll knock a lot of that out of the atmosphere and make it a little easier for everyone in the area. And then we see this here, of course, DR Congo, a couple of little volcanoes there, as well as the coking plants that are very close by. Urta Ale should be about here. Hard to see, but there may be some SO2 coming from it. Most of everything, though, is covered up by the oil refineries in Saudi Arabia and Iraq, and that kind of polluting that area. Looking at what we have coming out of our wonderful Mount Etna, and that is what it has produced in the last little while, and that is, of course, a combined effort from Etna, Volcano, and Stromboli in total there. So that is what we've got there. And looking at the rest of Europe, not too bad. Germany, a little bit of SO2, and that is not bad. And then we see here in Poland and going over Belarus and those areas of Lithuania, a little bit higher levels. That's all right for them. Not that bad though. And then a little bit coming off of the refinery there, or sorry, the aluminum plant there in Iceland, and possibly a little bit of human pollution. Okay, I'm looking at the time. Rather than work all our way through the other map, and we will refresh that one before we get going on it. But I am going to take a break. I do hear my voice is starting to crack, so I won't be able to continue on for the thing without a break. So I need to do that. Be good, everyone, and give me a little bit of time, and we'll go have a break, and then from there, we'll come back and we'll complete our weather, and that'll be all good. And that is pretty awesome. Okay, and for those good people who have not yet hit that like button and you're here and enjoying the show, by all means, give it a quick shot. It's always nice to hit that like button. We're trying to get over 100, but I don't think we'll make it today. Not that big of a deal, but would like to see it. Also, if you're new and you have not yet subscribed, consider subscribing if you're enjoying the show and you feel that we've earned it. And on that note, I'm your host, DrFox2000. I'm going to have a break and rest my voice. Yes, thanks, Maria. I will. Don't go away, you guys. Weather after the break. Thanks. And there we go. I've got the microphone back on. Welcome everyone. And I'm just reading Oz's comment there saying Maria, Australia has influence from England, Ireland, and Scotland. My ancestors in brackets, were part of a penal colony. Yeah, that's what the originally did there. They sent them ashore and let them go and said, "There you go, you're staying here," and that was pretty awesome. Well, I don't know, for them at the time, I don't think it was that awesome. And then what was it? About 50 years later, somebody came along with another ship, and they had some rabbits on there that were actually, there was no rabbits in Australia, and they brought the rabbits to shore, and apparently they got away somehow and had a rabbit explosion. And I hope I'm correct with that. And Oz, you can correct me if I'm wrong. But I'm not sure when the rabbits actually got there. But they never had rabbits in Australia prior to that. And that was kind of when it all started, when they got to be free. The rabbits escaped. They were prisoners as well, you know, and they got let go. So pretty awesome. Hey, Old Nick is on board. Welcome, Old Nick. Glad to have you here. And anyway, we are doing our weather. And in the U.S., the willies make the hair stand up on the back of your neck. Okay. Well, let's hope it doesn't stand up too high. I'm gonna pause our wonderful lava. Look at that. I got it mid-eruption again. I like that. And let's go over to our weather map, have a quick look at that, and see how the world is faring as far as that wonderful weather all around. So it's working on changing here. Give it a second, you guys. And there we go. A weather map on the screen. And there you can see North America, and you see some of the hot spots. Not so hot here where I am. Anyway, looking up cold places in the world, Greenland, not so green, minus 35 degrees Celsius in some places up in the big ice sheets. So bring your parkas if you go into Greenland. And looking at the northern areas of Canada, it's starting to turn into the same type of thing. We are seeing below freezing temperatures up in a lot of those areas, including coming into the top end of Manitoba and along the Hudson's Bay. There we go. That's what it is. Looking in the western portions of Canada, British Columbia had not a bad day. Alberta, well, it was nice, but it is raining now, and our temperatures are single digits for sure. Bottom end still holding some more heat since they are a little further away from that cold stuff up there. And big difference in climate. You know, you got 5-6 degrees at one end, or even down to 1 degree, and then you go down to the other end and you see 17, 18 on the bottom end of the province. A big, huge difference. So that is what we are seeing there. Sliding over to the east, it looks like Ontario, top half, very, very cold. Same thing with Quebec, and getting all the way out into Labrador, Newfoundland out here. Very, very cold. The rest of Ontario a little bit warmer, so not bad. Rabbits are illegal in Queensland, and introduced pests. Yeah, up there with the cane toad. Oh, I didn't know the cane toad was a pest too. Wasn't aware of that. Anyway, seeing the lower portions of Ontario not as bad as the upper portions, and Toronto coming in at about 16, 17 degrees. Montreal is a little bit colder at 11, 12, and then looking at St. Lawrence Seaway starting to cool off a little bit. We do see New Brunswick kind of single digits, and then down on the bottom portions of it, it gets a little bit warmer. And seeing what we've got here in Nova Scotia, and that'd be Sue Hayes' place, about 14 degrees Celsius right now. And of course, that's not so bad. They are getting some of that warmer air with that low sitting here, twirling around, doing its thing. And then we take a look at Newfoundland over here. A little bit cooler, but still not as bad as it could be. Looking at the United States, looks like Washington had a very nice day. Same thing as Oregon. And when we slide down a little bit more, what is it? Yeah, Idaho, not bad. Montana, not bad. Get around Yellowstone, higher elevations, a little cooler, but not too bad in Wyoming. Looking at Colorado, some cold stuff up in the higher elevations there for sure. Death Valley, thank you, Sue, for bringing that up. That is 37 degrees Celsius, and that's about what we're seeing there. So pretty awesome. A little easier temperature-wise in California, not so hot today for them. Mexicali is still coming out in at about 35, 36 degrees, sliding over into Arizona here. Phoenix 32, 33, and warm in the bottom end. We do see areas up here by Flagstaff, a little cooler, 10, 11, well, 12, 13 degrees, depending on where you're standing, I guess. Higher elevations again being a little bit on the cool side. Tucson, 27 degrees, not so bad. Looking at New Mexico, bottom end warm, top end cold. And most of Texas looks like it's pretty good temperature-wise. Some up here in the northwest corner, and down here we see a little bit of colder stuff, but not a bad fall day for those guys. Sliding up a little bit more into the central area. Really not that bad temperature-wise for October the 5th, of course. And same thing goes for Mississippi, Louisiana, Alabama, and even here in Georgia, and South Carolina, North Carolina. Once you get into the Ozarks here into the hills, it starts to cool off a little bit. Again, higher elevations. A little cooler in Florida, down on the bottom end, 28, 29, but in general, overall, not as hot as it could be, but that is about it for that area. Looking at New York, as we slide up there, 14 degrees. Boston coming in at about 14 as well, and that's just because they're on the coastline, and that's not so bad. And sliding in, looking at Cancun, Mexico, 27 degrees Celsius. We see the higher elevations in Mexico, definitely a lot cooler, and that was pretty evident when we seen that snow happening on Popocatepetl. So that's kind of what we got there. Sliding down Central America looks pretty normal, not so bad. We do have a bunch of different circulations here. I just wanted to add that. I don't know what's going to happen here and where the next storm is going to pop up, but we are seeing some that are moving fairly quickly, and we'll likely see some storms being created again down there. Looking at Brazil and the northern portions of South America, quite warm. Not sure why we've got such a hot spot here in Paraguay and the northern portion of Argentina, but I'm sure they're not complaining about having some nicer warm weather, so all good there. And looking at Rio de Janeiro, 21 degrees, a little bit nicer there, 15 in Sao Paulo. As we get down a little bit into places like Uruguay, we see northern end 20 degrees and 14, 15, 13 in a couple of spots, higher elevations likely. Buenos Aires coming in at about 16, so not so bad. And the rest of Argentina, not bad till you get a little closer to the mountains, and that is what we're seeing there. Sliding over and having a look at that horrible high here, bringing all that cold air up, and that of course is what is giving us snow at Mount Ruapehu or down in the valleys. And anyway, we see the temperatures are quite low, and in some places very cold. Higher elevations be even colder, so I'm sure we will see a lot more snow happening in that area till that high moves off and goes away and stops pulling that Arctic air back up. That would be nice. And of course, we are seeing here on the peninsula about 13 degrees, and the rest of the area basically down in single digits, some very cold. Looking at this though, that high in turn is also warming up Tasmania, and that is probably a good thing. They are anywhere from 13 to about 16 degrees. Melbourne coming in at 13 degrees right now, and that is what we see there. Adelaide coming in at about 19, 20, a little bit better, not bad. And looking here, Sydney 16 thereabouts, and home of Oz coming in about 19, 20 degrees. That's not so bad at all. We do see the northern portions of Australia are starting to warm back up, and Perth coming in at about 13 right now, so not too bad. Looking at our Indonesian, Malaysian, and Philippine areas, lots of action there. Temperatures are fairly high, and Bangkok coming in on the map here at about 25, 26 degrees. Sue just brought it up for me there, and that is 27 degrees showing on the weather guessers map. So that is what we've got, and 91% relative humidity, so likely a rain or just happen to rain, and maybe it's going to rain. We'll see. A lot of drift of the air coming in to that area, so that's where it's piling up, and you'll get higher humidity levels. Looking at the Yellow Sea here and coming out into the East China Sea, starting to really cool off. Same thing with Japan. Down on the bottom, we are seeing 23, 24, but as soon as we start to move up, we are seeing 10, 11 degrees in some places, and that is kind of what we got. And then the northern islands here, 5, 6 degrees Celsius. Kamchatka Peninsula, yeah, let's not even go there. Below freezing in a lot of the higher elevations, and single digits all the way around otherwise. Sliding over a little bit more, taking a look at India, pretty normal. We only see this one registered storm here, 92S, and that is in the Indian Ocean. We're seeing here Madagascar has got a high sitting over top of it, holding some cold air in, and that is of course in the higher elevations around the coastline on the west side. Some nice temperatures for a nighttime. That's not bad at all. Looking down at South Africa here, bottom end again, a little bit on the cold side. Cape Town coming in somewhere around 14 degrees. Port Elizabeth about 13, so that's what we see. Johannesburg 16, 17 degrees Celsius there, and moving up a little bit more. Seeing we've got a few hot spots in between here. This is kind of odd, but hey, they're there. And then we see higher elevations a little cooler, and the coastal areas here are really starting to warm up again. And same thing goes for Yemen, and then of course Oman, UAE, a little bit cooler than normal, but still holding a lot of temperature, and Saudi Arabia quite warm still. Hopefully, and these are nighttime temperatures, by the way. Same thing with Iraq, still holding a lot of temperature. A little cooler in Iran, but not so bad. And Syria up here, 25, 24. Getting further to the east, we see lower temperatures. Our Sahara Desert still holding some heat, especially out in the western portions here where that low is. They may be getting a storm there. And of course, that's our Canary Islands. Looking at La Palma, about 23 degrees, not so bad. Zooming in a little bit on where Piggy lives, and she is on the island of Kos, showing about 21 degrees. Sharon Stewart, are you here? I hear you sneaking in the door. And yeah, I heard you. You snuck in. And yeah, it's okay. We'll let you. Pardon me. Anyway, bringing up Piggy's weather real quick just to see. 21 degrees Celsius, there we go. And that is what she's got right now. And of course, that is a nighttime temperature, just so you guys know. And of course, looking at Sicily, higher elevations, a little cooler, and still some warm temperatures around the edges of the coast, which is not bad. But it is fall, so you can expect temperatures to drop a little bit. Same thing goes for Italy, and of course, a lot of the population lives right on the coast here, and that is where they're keeping warm. Higher elevations are the green areas usually. Monkland, New Monkland, sorry, it's New Monkland. We'll see what happens, but anyway, showing anywhere from about 14 to 21 degrees, depending on where you are at, and that is what we've got there in Sardinia. And looking at top end of Italy, up and towards the Alps there, they still are holding some nice temperatures in that area. Looking at Spain, bottom end of Spain, or 2/3 of Spain, not bad. Higher elevations, a little cooler, and that is what we've got there. Pretty good. And seeing what we got here in France, a little bit of single-digit stuff coming in off the coast here, but not bad for the most part for nighttime temperatures. Same thing goes for Germany and Luxembourg, and of course Belgium and Holland. Not so bad as far as temperatures are concerned. 14 in Berlin, Köln or Cologne, if you want to call it that. 15 Munich, only about 11, 12 degrees there. Getting up into our Denmark area, we see that it is 11, 12, depending on where you are. For the most part, not bad. We'll grab England first here and see. Looks like Wales, England, and Scotland, all about the same temperatures. And the eastern 2/3 of Ireland look like they are about the same as what England is. Out here on the West Isles and the coast area there, a little bit warmer at 12, 13 degrees Celsius. Let's have a quick peek up here at Sweden. And Norway looking pretty cold. Sweden has got some warmer air popping in here, coming in at about 14 degrees for nighttime is not bad. And Helsinki coming in about 12 as well. So right there, but as soon as you get out of that area, it starts to get really cool. And St. Petersburg is kind of on the edge of that, showing 9 degrees. Riga coming in at about 11, 12. Let's have a quick peek at Moscow. 6-7 degrees Celsius in that area. And going over to Iceland, do we even want to look? They've got that nasty low sitting up there that's driving all that cold air down onto the area. And looking at Reykjavik right now, 5-6 degrees, and about 4 degrees, 3 in some places. For our Reykjanes Peninsula, and that is pretty chilly, but hey, it is that time of year, and that's what we're seeing. Okay, let's take a look at the precipitation real quick, all around in general, and we first off look here. We're just on the edge of it, and we are getting rain here in Edmonton, so that is what that is about. We do see this from Alaska all the way down to the Queen Charlotte Islands, that different systems putzing around there, giving us some moisture. And oysters? What the heck are you talking about? Oh, I look up and look for oysters. I like sardines. Yep, Irish Monk is going to have a sardine factory there for Sardinia. Anyway, looking at northern Ontario, we see the colder area, of course, and that's what we were seeing earlier. And then down on the bottom end here, it's warmer. So not sure if that is partially lake effect from Superior pushing some of that cloud material out. Maybe just the way that wind is blowing in through there. We do see here in Illinois and those areas, some storms as well. Looking out at what we see coming up the coast here, New York and Boston, getting some of that stormy stuff, and I'm sure that is going to end up heading up onto Nova Scotia and make life a little bit more difficult out there. Looking at western portions of the U.S., really not that much happening. We do see a couple spots here in California, and then of course eastern Arizona is getting some of that rain, and then New Mexico apparently has some weather. Northwest Texas, the cold areas are getting weather there. Sliding down, and they did name that one Pain, and that is that one storm. I still think this one's going to turn into one as well in the future. Looking at Mexico and all the way through Central America, variable storms everywhere, with the exception of possibly there in Cancun showing 25 degrees, pretty nice. And possibly another storm developing here. If this one doesn't come inland, it may turn into a hurricane and continue onward, hoping it does not. And looking at what we're seeing in the northern portions of South America, the Amazon rainforest, and for the most part it's raining up in the north, a little drier in the middle, and then of course getting a little further south, we see some of that other horrible stuff. Now we had, pardon me, that low in here was drawing in all that warm air into Paraguay, but we see northern Argentina and bottom end of Paraguay getting nailed with some storms there. Chile getting their Chile dose, and that is a pretty cool. Oh, wow, for them it's normal, I guess. And there you go. There's New Zealand, and you can see they've got flakes indicated all over it. So that is that high that's drawing up all that cold air and causing it to dump into those areas. And I bet you that low is probably helping out here, drawing some of that cold air back into it. And seeing what we've got here in Tasmania, northern end and the east side, a little bit of rain. And we do see this low out here, and that is kind of drawing down some of that air, not really pushing up too much of that cold air, we hope. and we see the eastern, southeastern coast of Australia is getting some more rain. Probably not a bad thing if it's just raining a bit, so they'll like that. It doesn't look like too much rain at the home of the Oz. Wow, Dr. Fox, so many current directions. Yeah, it can get confusing, can't it, Ed? And we see some rain in the central portions here as well. Not too much up in the north, but it is what it is. And looking at, yeah, anywhere from Papua New Guinea on over, we're really getting nailed. Actually, when we look even here in Fiji here, and then Vanuatu has got storms, and possibly Tonga is getting some rain as well. But yeah, lots of storms, lots of stuff going on there. Pretty busy as far as we can see. As we move up, take a look at South Korea getting nailed with some storms that are emanating out of the Sea of Japan. And then Japan itself has a low sitting on the eastern side, and Tokyo's probably getting pretty wet right now. Looking at the rest of it, ooh, Kamchatka Peninsula, snow, and here's that nasty low pulling some more of that Arctic air down, and of course some of that warmer air mixing in with it, creating that wonderful snow. And well, I shouldn't say wonderful, just creating the snow. We see this 92S still working away, and India definitely getting some storms going through it as well, and this is likely due to kind of pushing up against the Himalayas there. South Africa, no rain right now. Same thing with Madagascar, with the exception of the one spot. So not so bad. And of course, central areas of Africa, their Congo and the rainforest areas are doing their thing. Looking at the rest of the area here, Saudi Arabia, Iran, Iraq, and all the way in through what we call our Sahara Desert, not getting too much. And looking at what we may have in store for Piggy. And I'm sorry, Piggy, but I don't see any rain coming. Not yet, for at least 2 or 3 days, if not longer. And nothing I can do about it. We do see some out here, but nothing too severe. Very little in Sicily. And, you know, you'd think that Sicily would be a lot wetter, considering the amount of clouds that we were seeing there. And now we also have nothing in Italy for the most part. Even Sardinia, or sorry, New Monkland is not showing any of that either. Spain, just on the Mediterranean side for the most part, getting a little bit, tiny bit up in the north. Very little in France. Germany's got some spots of rain going on. Same thing with Belgium. Luxembourg looks clear. Holland has got some rain going over here real quick. England, not bad until you get all the way up to Scotland, I guess. A couple spots in Wales, and Irish Monkland, not seeing a heck of a lot. One little spot there. Northern parts, though, a little bit up in the northern area. Not bad. Looks like Denmark is getting nailed with some rain. And look at this massive rainstorm slash snowstorm going up here in Sweden. So Maria is getting stuff. It's raining, and even over here in Finland, it is happening. And there's that low causing all the problem. Wow, it's working with this guy, and they're both working at it. We do see snow in Iceland, and that is, well, it's not unheard of. We've seen it snow there before. So that's kind of it for our weather. We do see our equatorial storm going all the way across. The only real storm that we see is Pain, and possibly going to have another storm develop here somewhere and do its same thing. So we'll see what happens in the next couple of days for those. And also this guy, I'm wondering about him, if that is going to get enough circulation to create another hurricane, or if it'll just stay idle. I do see this circulation and this one out here. That could be the prelude to some more storms. So hopefully, fingers crossed that we're not going to see that. Let's go find our coldest temperature on the planet. And this is where our wonderful people will start checking and seeing what we have down in the wonderful Antarctic area. And of course, you got to remember they are getting it's changing season, so we're going to see some warmer temperatures down there. And that is, Sue says minus 60. Holy mackerel, Sue. I got minus 57, 58, and let's see, right in here, minus 58, 59, and let's see, yeah, I don't know, I'm not sure if I'm going to find minus 60. I got minus 59. If I get a little closer, I might be able to. And do we have it? No, I'm going to give it up. Minus 59 is what I had for my low. So, yep, it's warming up down there. The penguins are probably starting to move around a little bit. So, yep, the best I can do is minus 59 degrees. According to my axis, the coldest place on Earth is my heart. Wow. Chicky Gomberg. The coldest place on Earth is your heart. I don't know about that. I'll let you know once my icicle melts, okay? Anyway, on that friendly note, that's it. So, Sue, you beat me by a degree, and that is awesome. And I get second place again. So, there you go. Sue found the coldest stuff. And Ed, when you email that 16C to me, I would accept that right now. It's a little bit colder than that here. I think we are in the single digits. I'm not 100% sure because I haven't been outside, but I will check that real quick. Carl Flower, welcome, and glad to have you on board here. Yeah, we're at 8 degrees, so we got half of that. Ed, if you send me that 16, that'll get me up to 24, and I would be very happy with that temperature, and that would be really nice. Okay, since we have done our thing with looking at the weather and looking at all our volcanoes that we can for right now, we will put you back onto our lava flows, and then I'm going to wrap things up. So easy day today to take care of things. For just before I leave, though, I'm going to say, hey guys, for those who have not yet hit that like button, please help us out. We're at 83. Of course, the target is 100. Oh, we just got to 84, and hopefully we'll get to a few more in there. Would be really nice. Sue has even got warmer temperatures than me. 85, excellent, you guys. Thanks for the extra likes there. Really, I do appreciate that. Okay, so on that friendly note, though, we're good to go here. Didn't get any super chats today, so I don't need to cover that, and that's all right. We do have a bunch of the members in here, though. A big thank you to all the members that help out with supporting the stream. It is very much so appreciated. Also a big thank you to Arizona Snowman Piggy, and Piggy gets a double extra hug, and thank you for always sending the bacon seeds and doing your thing. You're a very good person, and hopefully things will get a little better for you in time. And also thank you to C&D Boy, and let's see. Oh, Grandma B throws in a $2 super chat. Thank you, Grandma B. And that is very kind of you. Grandma B. I'm just writing that down. And thank you. That is awesome. So I didn't get skunked. Thanks, and appreciate that, Grandma B. Okay, so that's all cool. And on that friendly note, it's time to wrap up. I don't know why you're buffering there. Still holding solid bit rates here, so I'm not sure why. Anyway, be good, everyone, and thank you to all the moderators, the other ones. Wow, Sharon Stewart, you didn't have to. Thank you very kindly for that very generous super chat. Sharon Stewart. I'm writing it down. And that is very kind of you, Sharon. Thank you for that $41 super chat. And that is really awesome. And anyway, so all the moderators I mentioned, so C&D Boy and Joseph and Gary 24/7 Live, he's at Skies, and all good. Thank you. And thank you very much, Sharon Stewart. Again, thanks for a great stream, Doc. A day without a super chat is like a day without VolcanoX. Wow. And you know, we try hard. Hopefully, I know you were busy earlier, Sharon, but we did have some good time-lapse videos in there that you might want to go have a peek at or something if you didn't see them earlier. Anyway, on those friendly notes, please, I do want to say to everyone, please tell your loved ones that you love them tonight, for tomorrow is never promised. And your loved ones include your loved ones, okay? So please make sure you do that. Tell your loved ones that you love them tonight, for tomorrow is never promised. Take care, everyone. I'm your host, DrFox2000. Stay safe, be peaceful, and rest, and be good, and stay kind. And for the most part, we'll see you all tomorrow, okay? And have a great night, or a great day, depending on where you are. Good night, everyone. Oink, oink.